The bitumen of the modern midnight settles heavy upon the glass of our screens. A digital obsidian, where the soul wanders through corridors of blue light and flickering latency. We are travelers in a desert of signals, thirsting for a moisture that no algorithm can provide, seeking the ancient resonance of a voice that predates the first spark of man-made fire. Out of the static of the trending void, out of the restless scroll of the weary thumb, rises the silhouette of the medicine of God, a towering luminescence clad in the robes of a pilgrim who has walked the span of every galaxy. Raphael, the region of the sun, the guardian of the meeting place, descends into the phosphor of our evening, casting a shadow of gold across the gray urgency of our frantic exploration. You are the sudden clarity in the haze of a million voices, the silent frequency that vibrates beneath the cacophony of the world's unrest, turning our desperate hashtags into hymns of unceasing intercession. Your staff strikes the digital pavement, and the concrete of the heart cracks open to reveal the hidden springs of the Tigris, where the gall of the fish once cured the scales of a father's eyes. We are the blind ones sitting at the gates of the network, staring into the abyss of our own reflection until you arrive to ignite the darkness with a brilliance that does not burn but heals. It is a light that tastes of honey and cedar, a radiance that smells of rain on parched earth, dissolving the cataracts of our cynicism with the sheer weight of celestial presence. When the night grows heavy with the loneliness of the connected yet isolated, you provide the alchemy of a true encounter, weaving the threads of our disparate lives into a tapestry that glows with the fire of the divine will. You are not found in the superficial peak of a fleeting trend, but in the enduring depth of the soul's vertical climb toward the Empyrean. The night is no longer a cage of shadows or a theater of fears when your wings unfurl across the digital firmament, casting a spectrum of peace that the world cannot manufacture. Every pixel of our existence, every grain of our anxiety is touched by the amber glow of your proximity as you guide the wanderer home through the labyrinth of the 21st century. We cry out for a sign in the language of the machine, but you respond in the language of the spirit, a dialect of blinding purity that transforms our screens into icons and our scrolling into a pilgrimage. The rhythm of your breathing is the tempo of the spheres, a slow and majestic pulse that calms the frantic electricity of our minds, teaching us that to be seen by God is the only true fame, and to be healed by His hand is the only true progress. Let the night be lit, not by the flickering of dying stars or the artificial glare of the city, but by the overwhelming dawn of your angelic arrival. You stand at the crossroads of the virtual and the eternal, beckoning us to look upward from the palm of our hands toward the infinite horizon, where the Amen is whispered by the mouth of the universe. In the silence between the beats of a song, in the stillness at the center of a viral storm, we find the quiet fire of your presence, the Raphael light that's the gap between the wounded earth and the dancing heavens. We are travelers, no longer lost, for the guide has arrived with the sun in his right hand and the remedy in his left, turning the dark of our age into a luminous cathedral, where every heartbeat is a prayer and every breath is a return to the source of all light.
within the calcified silence of the high stone. Keep where the air tastes of ancient dust and forgotten masonry. The daughter of the East remains enshrined in an architecture of isolation. Not of iron nor of common clay was her spirit forged, but of the subterranean light that illuminates the veins of the earth before the miner's pick ever strikes the quartz. O Barbara, most radiant architect of the inner sanctuary, you who looked upon the two windows of your father's design and commanded a third to be hewn into the living rock, that the triple radiance of the undivided essence might bathe your soul in a geometry of grace. The stone groaned under the weight of your conviction, and the mortar yielded to the pressure of a faith that knew no perimeter and no boundary save the celestial. Your father Dioscorus built a citadel to hide your beauty from the world, yet he succeeded only in creating a laboratory for your sanctity, where the silence became a liturgy and the shadows became a choir of invisible witnesses. When the sky bruiseth to a shade of violet and sulfur, when the atmosphere thickens with the premonition of a galvanic descent, we look to the horizon, where your name is whispered by the artillerymen and the engineers of the deep. You are the mistress of the flash and the thunder, the patroness of the sudden transition from the temporal to the eternal, as the lightning leaped from the firmament to strike the one who raised the sword against his own blood. So too does your intercession strike the calamities that threaten to overwhelm our fragile dwellings. There is a metallic tang in the air, a scent of scorched ozone and scorched earth that signals your arrival as the protectress of those who walk through fire and those who delve into the damp, dark bellies of the world, seeking the riches of the stone. You hold the chalice against the storm, ensuring that the final viaticum is never denied to the soul caught in the sudden collapse of the tunnel or the sudden burst of the flame. In the digital echoes of our modern exploration, where the faith is shared in fragments of light and brief moments of recognition, your image flickers like a persistent flame across the screens of the weary. You are not a relic of the Nicomedean dust, but a living current, a pulse of electricity that surges through the wires of our interconnected longing. The tower you inhabited has become the icon of every soul, seeking a vertical escape from the horizontal mundanity of a world without wonder. Every stone of your prison was a syllable in a poem of resistance. Every shadow was a canvas for the Holy Spirit to paint the mysteries of the Trinity. You saw the three windows as the eyes of God, watching over the soul in its darkest confinement. And you taught us that even in a fortress of solitude, one can find the architecture of the infinite. The sword that ended your earthly breath became the lightning that guards the heavens. And now you stand amidst the clouds with the palm of victory and the tower of your endurance. Let the mountains tremble and the skies roar with the heavy percussion of the storm. For in the center of the tempest there is the stillness of Barbara. You are the electric fury of the sea. Your praise is not a soft melody of flutes, but a resonant anthem of bronze and iron, a hymn that echoes in the hollow chambers of the earth and the vast cathedrals of the clouds. We invoke your name when the fuse is lit, and when the hammer falls for you are the Lady of the Blast, who masters the energy of the cosmos and tames the wildfire for the sake of the humble. Through the corridors of history, your light travels faster than the sound of the thunder that follows it, a brilliant precursor to the divine judgment that clarifies the air. We are but explorers in a world of shadows, seeking the music of your steadfast heart in the rhythmic pounding of the rain. From the heights of your celestial tower, look down upon the flickering lights of our small lives and grant us the courage to carve our own windows into the walls of our circumstances, that we might never be without the triple light of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. May our faith be as unyielding as the granite of your prison, and our transition into the eternal be as swift and as illuminated as the bolt that vindicated your martyrdom. In the silence between the flashes of our existence, we find your praise carved into the very substance of the universe, a testament to the Virgin who became the master of the storm and the guardian of the hidden fire. Upon the dust of the Rimac, where the Andean shadows descend to kiss the colonial stone, a miracle began to exhale, not in the roar of thunder, but in the quiet unfolding of a petaled Isabel, whose name was a promise of God's abundance, shed the earthly identity to become the very bloom that the angels tend in the celestial parterre. You are the rose that does not wither under the equatorial sun, the blossom that found its water in the well of divine thirst, transforming the dry soil of Lima into a sanctuary of olfactive prayer. The air of the city became heavy with a scent that no merchant could bottle, a nard of sanctity that rose from the hidden garden where the soul met its spouse in the silence of the noontide heat. Beneath the garland of silk and velvet that the world admired, you wore a crown of hidden silver thorns, pressing the reality of the passion into the very marrow of your brow, so that every thought might be a sacrifice of fragrance. You understood that to be the rose of heaven, one must first be the rose of the cross, bleeding sweetness where the world expects only the bitterness of the wound. Your mortifications were not of iron and stone alone, but of a heart that burned so fiercely it turned the surrounding air into a garden of perpetual spring. The hummingbirds of Peru stood still in the air, suspended by the magnetism of your grace, witnessing a beauty that did not seek the gaze of men, but the smile of the King who walks in the cool of the evening. Oh, fragrant rose, your petals are the prayers of the poor and the marginalized, whom you served with hands that smelled of earth and heaven. In the small cell of your retreat, the walls expanded until they touched the boundaries of paradise, and the scent of your devotion. Bypass the incense of the cathedrals to reach the very throne of the Lamb.
It is a feast of the senses turned inward, an invitation to breathe in the oxygen of the Spirit. We do not merely remember a maiden of old, we inhale the living presence of a love that chose to be crushed so that its essence might fill the entire world. The wind that blows from the peaks of the Cordillera carries the echo of your yes, a soft floral vibration that resonates through the corridors of time.
Let the bells of the feast day ring not with metal, but with the resonance of 1,000 opening buds.
In the digital tapestry of the modern age,
where images flicker and fade, your fragrance remains an unalterable constant, a digital halo that persists through the noise. You are the explorer of the interior heights, the pioneer of the soul's secret valleys, showing us that the most profound journey is not across the oceans, but into the heart of the beloved.
The sky of Lima is painted with the blush of your name, and the stars themselves seem to drop like white petals upon the altars of the world.
Holy Rose, let us find the scent of your humility in the midst of our pride. When the world is parched and the gardens of the Spirit are brown with neglect, may the memory of your water, clear devotion, descend like a mist. You are the bloom that survived the winter of the flesh to find the eternal summer of the word. May our lives become a liturgy of fragrance, a slow burning incense of charity that rises from the streets we walk, just as yours rose from the cobblestones of your city. For in the kingdom of the fragrant rose, every thorn is a promise of glory, and every drop of dew is a diamond reflecting the light of the sun that never sets.
As the feast day dawns, the heavens open their censers, and the aroma of your holiness floods the valleys of the earth. We do not seek you in the withered pages of history, but in the living garden of the present,
where the soul still yearns to be a flower in the hand of the Creator.
You teach us that the most beautiful thing a human can be is a vessel of divine perfume, a living rose that spends itself entirely until nothing remains but the sweetness of the name.
From the heights of the celestial Lima, look down upon the pilgrims who wander through the thorns, and guide us by the scent of your garment to the place where the roses never die, and the fragrance of God is the only air we breathe.
The bells have ceased their bronze complaint, and now the sanctuary holds the amber weight of 7 o'clock. We stand as a small assembly of the twilight, our breath catching on the syllables of ancient promise as the day folds its weary wings.
The air is thick with the scent of melted wax and the cool breath of stone, a Catholic silence that prepares the way for the shepherd's entry. He does not come as a tyrant of the storm, but as the quiet governance of the soul, a king whose scepter is a staff of gnarled olive wood. In this hour, the frantic pulse of the world slows to the rhythm of the cantor's lead, and we recognize that to be ruled by him is to finally be free from the anarchy of our own desires. His sovereignty is the gravity that keeps our wandering hearts from drifting into the void, a divine magnetism that pulls the stray back to the warmth of the communal fold. The green is the color of his mercy, yet tonight it manifests as the deep emerald of a forest at rest, hidden from the scorching glare of the noonday sun. He leads us not to the shallow, muddy ponds of earthly distraction, but to the silver still waters of a grace that reflects the stars. There is no haste in his command, only the steady, patient pace of one who has walked the Via Dolorosa and knows the exact weight of a human spirit. We are the sheep of his pasture, bruised by the week's long labor and the sharp briars of our own making, seeking the grass that grows where the light of the tabernacle falls. He unbinds the heavy yoke of our ambitions and points toward the meadow of the Spirit, where the only requirement is to be still and know the providence of the one who names us. Even as the shadows lengthen across the nave, stretching like long dark fingers toward the high altar, we do not falter at the onset of the night. The valley of the shadow is no longer a place of terror, but a between the day's fatigue and the eternal dawn. His rod is the strength of the cross, a vertical truth in a horizontal world. His staff is the whisper of the Spirit in the ear of the frightened, a gentle hook that pulls us back from the precipice of despair. When the world screams its chaos and the wolves of anxiety howl at the doors of our minds, his voice remains the velvet gravity that keeps us grounded. I shall not want for vanity or the hollow gold of the city, for the shepherd provides the bread of life that suffices for the journey through the deepest gloom. A table is spread before us in the sight of every ghost that haunts our history, a liturgical feast prepared by the hands that were pierced for our sake. He pours the oil of gladness upon our weary brows, a chrism of restoration that heals the cracks of doubt and the scars of our secret wars. The cup is not merely full, it is a fountain, a spill of crimson grace that stains the common cloth of our mundane lives with the purple of a celestial royalty. We sit as guests of the High King, transformed from beggars into heirs, eating the silence that nourishes more than any earthly banquet. The enemies of our peace, shame, regret, and the fear of the end stand back in the shadows, blinded by the radiance of this holy hospitality and the unbreakable rule of the Shepherd King. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us not as passive observers, but as persistent hunters of our hearts, chasing us through the gray streets of Monday and the trials of the midweek sun. They are the twin hounds of heaven, relentless in their pursuit, until we return to the house where the incense never fades. At 7 o'clock on the side of Sunday, the cycle of the week finds its holy resolution, and we find ourselves tucked within the thick wool of the shepherd's cloak. We shall dwell in the house of the Lord, not as transient visitors or strangers at the gate, but as the very stones of the temple, forever held in the loving gaze of the one who rules our life, with a devotion that will never let us go. The choir's final note ascends into the rafters, leaving us anchored in the peace of a kingdom that has no end.
The dust of 2 millennia has settled into the creases of my own palms. Yet the gravel of the Via Dolorosa feels fresh beneath the soles of a soul weary from the winters of its own making. There is a specific gravity to this season, a density of atmosphere, where the air turns into thick cedar smoke and the scent of bitter hyssop. You do not merely walk beside me. You have reached into the hollow architecture of my chest and extracted the leaden weights I've named and the ones I've buried in silence. The wood of the beam is not a solitary object of history, but a porous vessel absorbing the salt of my particular tears, the jagged edges of my betrayals, and the cold iron of my indifference. I watch your shoulders shift under the impossible geometry of my grief, the grain of the timber singing a low, agonizing cello note against the bone of your strength. The road is not a straight line across the map of Jerusalem, but a winding ascent through the corridors of my own fractured memory. Every stone turned by a passing foot is a day I surrendered to despair. Every drop of sweat that strikes the parched earth is a ransom for a moment I thought was lost to the void. You are the great alchemist of agony, turning the dross of my failures into the gold of a shared pilgrimage. As the sun of 2026 hangs low and heavy, casting long, skeletal shadows across our modern pavements, the friction of the crossbar against your skin echoes the friction of my own conscience. You do not ask for a lighter load, you ask only for my honesty, as you heft the crushing bulk of my arrogance onto that reddened shoulder, your breath hitching in a rhythm that matches the thumping of my own fearful heart. There is a silence that accompanies this climb, a quiet so profound it swallows the shouting of the crowds and the metallic clatter of the centurion's gear. In this stillness, I realize that the splinters entering your flesh are carved from the trees of my own stubborn gardens. You are carrying the weight of my midnights, the exhaustion of my unanswered prayers, and the dull ache of a world that has forgotten how to kneel. The ascent to Calvary is an education in the physics of mercy, how one man can the gap between the infinite weight of sin and the fragile capacity of human endurance.